What's going on, YouTube? I am Germ here, and today is a very, very sad day. It's very unfortunate. I have been exposed. I have been cooked. I have been roasted. I am outed. I might not be able to recover from this, and I don't really know what to do. Today, we're going to be going over what the heck happened. We're going to be doing a little drama talk and stuff like that. But also, this will still end up being ultimately very, very investment focused and investment related, and hopefully you guys will be able to learn something from this as well. But first, since we're in the middle of my downfall and there's lots of bad news going on, I do want to at least plug my cash trading business really quick. This is obviously an awesome way to help support me, my channel, and my content, but it's also a great way for you guys to be able to cash out on your CSGO or CS2, whatever, items, skins, anything and everything safely and effectively, efficiently, whatever, quickly, because obviously when you're trying to cash out, there can be a lot of scamming, a lot of shadiness, a lot of things to be worried about, but obviously if you come to me, we can make things hopefully pretty smooth. Here, I have a nice little thread of all the different kinds of items that I've bought and purchased over the past couple weeks. It's been going really well. Seems like people are happy. I've been happy with it. So hit me up over on Twitter at I_am_German if you're interested in that. With that being said, let's get right into this. So, today's news, drama, story, whatever, revolves around Fano, the very, very big CS content creator, CS investing content creator, whatever. You probably know who he is, especially if you watch some of my content and stuff. And he's actually who first kind of mainly got me into all this stuff. Once I returned to playing Counter-Strike a couple of months ago with, the CS2 hype when all that stuff happened, I was one of the CS2 return normies, whatever. I started looking up CS investing stuff. And Fano obviously ranks very, very highly on YouTube searches and Google and all that stuff, and I started watching a lot of his stuff. And for a while I was watching like his daily live streams. A couple months ago I was watching like every day. I was watching the full thing, so I know very, very well what this guy's all about. I know the things he says. I know his content. I know his investment style. I know a lot of stuff. For many weeks I was watching hours and hours and hours of Fano content, listening to hours and hours and hours of what he has to say. And overall, I think if you are a low level person looking to get into CS investing or looking to get into CS items and stuff like that, he can teach you some stuff. But I don't think he's worth much more than that, and obviously he's been getting cooked a lot recently. There's been a lot of negative publicity, a lot of bad stuff going on about him, but for the most part, I haven't tried to pile onto it too much. Obviously, I make jokes about him on like Discord and tweets and stuff every once in a while, but I haven't given him a lot of direct hate because I think he's already getting plenty of that, and I don't really think he deserves much more. He says some weird stuff. He says some dumb stuff. I don't think he's all that great of an investor, but I've never really felt the need to say much to him because whatever, he's going to do what he's going to do. I'm going to ignore it, and I'm going to go on with my life. But today he tweeted this out. He said, "Pro tip for CSGO investors." Hey, that sounds cool. I would love some pro tips. Diversification makes very little sense for anyone that knows what they're doing. It is a protection against ignorance. Now, he has this in quotes, but he does not say who this quote is from, so I guess it will forever remain a mystery. I don't know if it's a quote from him or some famous investor or whatever. But he says, "So while it may feel nice and comfortable owning several different Paris investments, concentration will always outperform." And there is so many issues with this tweet, but at the most general level, I think this tweet has some value. I think there are actually some good things here. At the end of the day, the very, very core of this tweet is, hey, concentration can be a good thing. Don't over diversify. Diversifying can feel good. It can feel safe. You can feel protected. Diversifying lowers risk. But he's saying, hey, don't cap your returns. If you over diversify, if you diversify too much, you are, maybe going to put a limit on your gains. And I think that's true. And hey, that's great. And there are investors in the stock market and crypto and, the multi-billion-dollar hedge funds and all this stuff. Some of them are very, very pro diversification. Some of them are a little bit more concentrated. But there's no one best thing. Nobody knows what's better. Some people will argue for diversification. Some people will argue for concentration. I know there is kind of an old adage or an old saying in investing that like concentration builds wealth and diversification keeps wealth or whatever. So, obviously people who can stomach more risk or in a situation where risk isn't as bad for them, this is mainly younger people, people with tons of years to gain money back, and people with more disposable money that they're able to risk might want to concentrate a little bit more. And people who are maybe getting closer to retirement, people who can't stomach as much risk, people who don't want to stomach as much risk, they will diversify. But both are good, and both can be good, and both are good in similar situations. But right here, Fano is saying concentration will always outperform. And that simply doesn't make sense. I've been giving the example of, hey, there's 24 Paris Hollows. If there are 24 different people that each go all in on one of these different 24 Paris Hollows, half of them are going to outperform the Paris Hollow market and half of them are going to underperform. That's just how it goes. Concentration is not always going to outperform. That just doesn't make sense. Now, obviously, if you concentrate just in the winners, you're going to outperform. If you concentrate in just the losers, you're going to underperform. There are going to be people who outperform and underperform both ways. There's going to be people who diversify and outperform. You can diversify without being in the entire market. You can diversify and still outperform the Paris market as a whole. So I don't know. There was just so many weird things with this tweet. But at the end of the day, he had some okay advice, but there was an absolute in here that just makes it simply untrue, that makes it simply false. So, hey, I responded and I said, hey, concentration will always outperform. Literally cannot make sense logically. If you don't think about it, it's good. This tweet was so close, though. Now, am I being a little bit of an asshole there? Yes. Am I being, a little bit tongue-in-cheek? Am I maybe being a little bit too rude, too mean off the bat for a guy that I haven't had too much interaction with in the past? Yes, probably, but I thought it was funny, and I just think his tweet's so stupid, and he has such a big, impressionable fan base that I think it's, pretty dangerous for him to be putting out, just blatant inaccuracies. Now, this is where things went from bad to worse for me, and he decided to start cooking. He told me, tell me you don't know a thing about investing without telling me you don't know a thing about investing. Now, okay, this guy is literally just like a bot. Like, this guy just has cookie cutter responses lined up. Like, obviously, tell me you don't know something without telling me you don't know. That's like a meme, and he just regurgitates buzzwords and all this stuff. So, hey, he decides to say some shit that doesn't even make sense. He doesn't even really respond to my tweet, but whatever. He also goes on to say all these wannabe investors in the space have never read an investment book, and it shows, which is just absolutely hilarious, because is this guy really just like sitting in his room reading investment books? I mean, maybe that's where he's getting a lot of this buzzword soup from, but I would recommend he maybe continues to read some of these investment books, because he's obviously made some questionable calls lately, and I don't know how many of these investment books are telling him to buy high and sell low on Antwerp, and buy high and sell low not buy high, sell low on Antwerp, but he held through Antwerp. He ended up selling the bottom. Obviously, this guy goes on to say, hey, I think you need to pick up a couple better books. Infrastructures, Get the Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. And they show, hey, recently, he bought, some cases pretty high and then sold them pretty low. Again, I don't think he's seeing those in any investment books, but I don't know why he decided to, get in this weird, strange argument with me. I don't know why he decided to try and cook me so hard, calling me a wannabe investor. He obviously knows nothing about me. And again, I've told this with everyone, hey, let's go. My portfolio is going to be public. I'm going to be covering it and tracking it all on this channel. I know he does a lot of that same stuff, but let's see who has better Paris investments. Let's see who has better investments in the next 6 months or over the next 12 months. I think, and I'm confident that I'm going to be able to go, toe to toe with these people in terms of ROI. So I don't know why he's deciding to do this stuff, but again, he's saying stuff that just absolutely doesn't make sense. Concentration can be good. Diversification can be good, but obviously concentration will not always outperform. If it did, then everyone would just always do that, and everyone would just, go all in. But he continues to say a lot more stupid stuff. I gave him the example of the 24 people buying all the different Paris Hollows, and he said a handful of them will outperform the rest because they picked one of the winners of this sticker sale. Hence why you should probably concentrate to see better returns. This tweet really flew over your head, didn't it? And now he's contradicting himself, and now it's starting to not make sense at all. He says a handful will outperform, which is literally exactly what I said. I said, hey, concentration will not always outperform. It will sometimes outperform. And then in this tweet, he's like, yeah, sometimes they're going to outperform if you pick the winners. But also saying his tweet flew over my head, acting like I'm some kind of idiot and he's some like big brain, Giga Chad that is just spouting off all this wisdom, and us, peons can't understand what he's saying. And I said, what the fuck are you saying? Half will outperform and half will underperform. You said concentration always outperforms. He says, if you know what you're doing and you make the right picks, or even one or two of the right picks, then yes, you will outperform. So again, he's saying if you make some good picks, you'll do good, which is just so stupid and doesn't even make sense. Like, obviously, hey, if you make good investments, then you're going to make good investments. Well, hey, what about the people who make bad investments? And what about the bad investments that you've made? If picking all the winners was so easy, then again, why did you hold on to Antwerp as the price dropped and then sell it at the bottom? Why did you buy some of these mouse stickers at ridiculously inflated prices? I don't know. Obviously, Fano's trying to act like picking the winners and just concentrating in only the good stuff is easy. But no, that's absolutely the hard part. Trying to figure out what is going to outperform the market. He doesn't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. So again, he's just spouting off really, really dangerous rhetoric to his very, very impressionable fan base and saying things that are simply not true. And he doesn't even believe in, because again, he goes on to contradict himself in this tweet thread. And again, I assume that's why he stopped replying to me, because the shit he was saying just absolutely did not make sense. And Twitter's usually weird because usually getting in Twitter wars as the person with less followers or a smaller fan base is pretty dangerous, because usually a big following, your fans are just going to come in, they're going to like all your tweets, they're going to bombard the people. But that absolutely has not happened in this thread. Again, this is a guy with what? I don't even know, 13,000 followers. His original tweet has 13 likes. None of his tweets in, my thread have been getting any likes. Like, I don't know. It just seems like people are starting to catch on to his bullshit a lot. Like I said, he has a ton of knowledge of the history of CS. He knows a lot about items and stuff like that. But overall, his investment, I don't even know. His investment knowledge is very, very lackluster. He says a lot of buzzwords. He contradicts himself all the time. He says things that absolutely don't make sense. Oftentimes he's on the right track, but ends up just missing the mark. He's also very, very defensive, very, very kind of like insecure and quick to attack people and jump at people's throats. Like in this thread, when I corrected him and said, hey, what you're saying just simply isn't true, he wants to call me a wannabe investor and try and cook me and roast me and all this stuff, whatever. I don't know. Just be careful. Again, at the end of the day, I don't want to send too much hate his way, because obviously he's already getting tons of it, but he continues to do stuff that I really think is ignorant, arrogant, and probably dangerous to a lot of his fan base, and I think you should be careful. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm likely going to continue to just ignore him the best I can, but, sometimes when I see some shit that's really stupid, I'm going to have to say some stuff, and I think it's kind of my duty to say some stuff to, help out the community and get the good information out to people, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Obviously, at the end of the day, my advice would just be to, not look at his tweets, not watch his videos, or if you do, at least take everything he says with a grain of salt, because again, it's likely not coming from all that great of a place. But I don't know. He decided to cook me. He decided to roast me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back from this. So I guess pray for Germ. I'm just out here as a wannabe investor. But like I said, we'll see whose portfolio performs well over the next 6 months, 12 months, whatever time period you want. And we'll go from there. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.